Hey guys, so here we are with a shave, and I have good news and bad news. Bad news first. Williams, Williams mug soap, been around for so long, right? They've reformulated it a few times. The older version has more tallow, and so it lathers easier and comes into a nice creamy lather, much easier than the modern. The modern will still get there, but it takes longer. And even now, it's available in the stores for a little over $1. At least it has been in the stores where you can find it, which is not often, but I know there's some little small grocery stores that still have it. And I've just recently read that they've discontinued Williams mug soap, those pucks. I have been, just to kind of support the industry, the Williams, the shaving industry of these grocery stores stocking that any shaving soap, and it's so cheap. I have always, for the last few years, bought up a puck every time I saw it. And now I guess that works out because they're going to run out at some point, and then all you're going to have is expensive stuff on eBay that's available, right? Um, Amazon still has it right now. It is a little on the expensive side. Um, a few more dollars, like $9 a puck, or there's a nine pucks for some $20 or $30 or something like that. Just for your information, for me, a puck lasted 60 shaves, and it's got a nice lather, very slick. If you work it a long time, you can get this amazing creamy lather that beats many soaps that cost $25. It has a citronella type scent that it's kind of always, I think it's always had. So it's not really creative in the scent department, but it's $1.30, and I have long put it in my Old Spice mug here, and so it's even got scent after just sitting around, right? But and so that's the sad news. They're discontinuing the Williams pucks. I thought it was always a great buy for people who um, are wanting to wet shave and have to do it on a big time budget. I mean, because $1.30 for 2 months of great lathers, you probably go a little bit more if you really fine tuned how long you loaded, that sort of thing. So uh, it'll definitely be missed. Now, something that might take its place is Arco, ARKO. It does come in pucks, but it's mostly known for the stick form. And it's really easy. Wet your face, rub the stick on it, and get going with a wet brush. I don't think the performance of Arco is quite as good as Williams was, but it does a good job, and it's still inexpensive. So for practical shavers, that might be something to turn to. Now, a tub of Stirling is still really pretty economical. The way I use it, it lasts me 13 months. That's like $1 a month. So that's only twice the cost of Williams. It's not really very much. All right, well, let's get on with the other stuff. The Zenith, and this is the Boar brush. I think it's the B23. I'm having to put the camera in a weird place, so the lighting is a little different. In honor of Williams and its timelessness and its devotion to the men of our history, shavers, and I guess women as well, though a minority. I've got the Venerable tech from Gillette, and this is an oval slotted tech, so we know it was post-war. And then we're going to put one of my favorite blades in, a Nacet, which nice and sharp, and it's only about 2 uses old. I did have this guy soaking for about half an hour or something like that, so he should behave pretty well. Get that razor in there. The tech does a great job of cutting well while still being kind of mild sometimes. And with Williams, I did a, Williams may have actually been the soap that I started the Nacet's journey on. My Nacet that's 450 shaves old, still going. Um, that may have been the year I started with Williams for the whole month of August. And so Williams does have a place in my own shaving history. And through that whole month, I experimented with different ways to lather Williams for the purposes of just helping the community try to find an easy way to lather it, because a lot of people regard it as kind of finicky. Some guys stumble upon a good method that makes them happy, and then they don't see any problem with it. Why are you guys having a problem with Williams? I did put a little bit of water on top of the puck. It did get absorbed, as you may be able to tell. There's no glistening water on there. Let's load. I don't remember the best way to do it. Let's just load for a minute and just kind of see what happens. I'm going to shake out some of the water. So we're going into it kind of with a medium wet brush. Started at the 05 point. Now, one of my main reasons for using Williams these days is for brush cleaner. For a brush cleaner, it's great at dispelling oils that might build up in your brush. And it's just a good benchmark for taking that lather that you generate and working it through the brush and feeling how the brush feels and all that stuff. And there are some people, it's really funny with Williams. You can see the suds coming all the way up. And so we're on 10 more seconds. There are people who say one thing about lathering Williams, and then you'll find somebody else who says the opposite. Okay, there we go. So here we went with a medium wet brush, and look, we've got kind of some good looking stuff here. Williams is tricky in the sense that, in my experience, you can start out with Williams and it looks like it's too wet. But what it needs is just to be kind of worked up. And I've seen this in a few other soaps. And it happens when you come at the soap with some kind of wetness in your brush. So I'm just going to start working it up here. That citronella scent coming up to me. This brush is part of my Boarathon. And he has the distinction of being one of two Zeniths. The other Zenith I have is one where the bristles kind of have a built-in splay to them. They're glued into the knot at an angle, at least the ones on the outskirts of the knot. Whereas this one, when they come out of this handle right here, they're pretty much going straight up. And so this brush has a lot more built-in backbone because of that. So it's a different animal. He was really frustrating, maybe the first 15 or 20 uses. He really, really was. And so I'm going to be interested in seeing how he responds to the hairdryer treatments that I've been talking about. I think actually now that after I shave this time, he'll be at 27 uses. And so I'll be able to start with some hairdryer treatments on him. And we'll see how those extra split tips combined with this, the backbone that's at the core of this knot, see how they work together. This is a nice comfy barber style long handle. My fingertips still kind of butt up against this surface right here, and it kind of makes it not a perfect handle for me, but almost. So as we work right now, we're taking that concentrate that we got on the brush and we are mixing it in with the water that was in the brush. I haven't added any other water yet. I think one of the secrets, you can see, look at how textured it is. Look at the suddenness and the creases and the ridges. Okay, let's start adding water. Now, I think I may have discovered something about Williams where it might like to have water added slowly in the beginning. Now, like I said, just like you have somebody who says it likes to have water added slowly, you can probably find somebody else who says, I love to drown it, and it does great. Matter of fact, I definitely know plenty of people who they say, well, it's a mug soap. It's made to be a mug soap. Just throw a bunch of water in there. Some people even pour boiling water on Williams to kind of prep it for the shave. Now that second bit of water that I added was actually it was not a small amount. You know, with Williams needing so much work in the bowl, I might have been better to choose a brush that doesn't quite have so much stiffness as this one. I'm not a face latherer, so I particularly never came up with a great face lathering technique. Williams is definitely a soap that people have used over the decades for face lathering. It would be great to go back in time and talk to those granddads. Surely some guys along the way figured out great techniques, but one of the issues with Williams is that a lot of guys, they don't mature it enough, they don't work it enough, and so they end up with a lather that dissipates. That is a very common complaint against Williams. And even in all the experiments that I did during that month where I used Williams for all of August, maybe in 2019, maybe 2018, I never had a lather that dissipated. I think you just need to load more product and or more water and you'll be okay. Sometimes just working it for longer because you didn't quite get the emulsion right. It didn't have a chance yet to combine, you know, to form a proper lather. Now I've got tons of lather here in the bowl. Now I can feel it, and it kind of feels light and not very dense. And that's one of the kind of deceptive things about Williams. I haven't used it in a while. See, like right now, this my fingertips here are getting soapy, and this handle is pushing my fingers. The slickness there of the soap is causing me not to have any grip back here. So it's pushing my fingers. This ramp here just shoves my fingers into this thing. I don't really enjoy that. And so I'm not super confident. I've got some Williams videos out there of some techniques that I've used, and what I'm not confident in is a quick Williams ultra creamy lather. I know how to do it and take 10 minutes to lather up, or 15, you know, but a lot of people don't have that kind of time, you know. So the good news, I told you there was good news and bad news, right? Let's go ahead and try shaving with this. Sometimes with Williams it can look airy and you need to keep adding water. Sometimes you need to stop, and we'll just see what kind of this is. Good news is I just got a notification recently that my Blackland Era is done with the pre-order process, and it has been labeled to be shipped out soon, and so that Era is going to be on its way, and that'll be a fun one to try. A relatively inexpensive stainless steel razor for you guys. I ordered 3 plates toward the mild end of the spectrum, and 1 open comb plate. Probably the 2 out of 5 for the open comb plate. And we'll see how that goes. Oh man, I forgot to get my face wet. Let me do that now. It's really funny here recently. total weather turn. Been so cold. Just a few days ago, I was outside and it was almost freezing. And today we almost have to turn the air conditioner on. And that's somehow how late February goes. You know, it's just March and February just seem to be very different, right? Yeah, I can feel that backbone. And I can feel kind of the soft wiriness of the tips. And I look forward to when these tips are going to be really soft. Pretty comfortable now as it goes. A little bit of scrub, but not any scritch or scratch. I think if you had an aggressive razor, you wouldn't want to maybe use this brush if you knew it might kind of rough your skin a little bit. Well, the lather's looking pretty good. Why don't we tweak it a little bit? Add a little bit of water and just see what it turns into. Of course, it kind of feels a little less dense right now. I mean, it's going to do a great job no matter what, but the tricky thing about Williams is sometimes, like right now, if you add water, it thins out, or sometimes if you add water, it kicks it into turbo and it turns it from good to great. It, you know, it turns up the cream factor. And we've got, I did not need to load for a minute. Let's keep adding a few more drops. Just see what my face turns into here. Pretty dense Boar brush. If you're not familiar with my Boarathon, then you haven't been watching lately. It's a group of about 12 Boar brushes that I've been shaving with at about the same rotation so that I can compare them against each other. I have a Stirling Boar, 2 Omega Boars, 2 Zeniths, and several Simogues. Oh yeah, see, the lather's getting richer with that water I'm adding. So it looks like the bowl did need a bit more water. See, and that's the thing, if it feels kind of airy, I think that's why Williams is just sometimes difficult, because that airiness makes you almost think it's too wet, because it looks almost like it's too thin. But what it needs is, the airiness is more of a, I'm going to say powdery, but it's not powdery. But it's in an attitude of waiting for more water to activate, you know, and to get all creamy, because this right now, this is the magical Williams land right here. And the slickness is incredible. And there we go. This is just, and look, we keep generating more around my beard there. So I could definitely I'll definitely add more water to the bowl here. And I'll mix it up maybe during the gap or something like that. And so we'll get it a little closer, so I don't have to quite add it as much per pass. There we go. So this is called the ball end tech. The bar handle is the other main type of handle for the tech. Ball end being the ball right here. It is a solid, at least it sure feels that way, handle. The other one is thicker, but it's hollow, and so it feels lighter. It's more head heavy. I like the feel of this one if I close my eyes, but I like the look of the thicker one, but it's lighter and more head focused. I don't like that quite as much. Nacet's just easily breezing through. Williams has a cool distinction of being a great soap to shred the puck, and you can soak the soap flakes, the soap shreds, into an alcohol splash. And then you let the alcohol gradually evaporate, and you're left with Williams Mug soap, but scented in whatever splash you used. I've done it with Stetson. You know, it's kind of neat to do it with a Walmart type, big box type, easy to find cologne, and it really is enjoyable. Oh, and that's a great cut there, super comfortable. The blade just breezed through the hair. All right, so I just took a couple of minutes and mixed in that extra water. I mean, look how much lather. Just got so much lather available here. So let's kind of charge the brush up by pressing it down into the lather. See what we get now. But one of the things about Williams is it can, I don't know, it's almost like it takes a minute for the water to get into it, and you almost have to work it on your face for a little while before it comes together, you know. You saw that I had to keep adding some water to that first pass. And so likely here, it's almost like it just somehow wouldn't come together in the bowl. Maybe somehow the bowl was adding too much air, and then the face just doesn't do that. But see, it'll get more creamy on if I just work this. I can feel the backbone. I'm even starting to feel some of the tips. So this is something I usually like to avoid with this kind of brush. I should have picked a nice soft badger or something like that. But in terms of slickness, it's there. Probably could add some more water here, actually. But let's just go ahead and shave on. So such a luxury to have a sink. Be able to rinse my hand off when it gets all soapy. Sean, if that's a good way to pronounce his name, was a commenter, and he sent me a way he likes to lather Williams, and it was kind of a 2-dip approach, and I did a video on it. And it was, he used really hot water. He actually goes and microwaves, you know, some water, something like that. He gets some near boiling water, and what did he do? You dip your brush in the near boiling water, and then you take it to the Williams and you work it. I can't remember if he, you know, had me pour some of that on the Williams, if that is his style, was to pour some on the Williams first. See, no dissipating of this lather at all. And if you go and just get some from somewhere on your face, you can kind of retouch up areas. But he basically came at the soap for, I don't know, maybe 10 seconds with that ultra hot wet brush, and his approach didn't seem to want to gather a bunch of soap on it for that 10 seconds, meaning I'm not gathering everything. And then you work that into your face to almost prep your face, and it also kind of preps the brush. It also gives that moisture that you just kind of put on the soap a second to kind of soften it up. And then you go back for another, I don't know, 20 seconds or something like that after you've kind of put that first pass on your face. And then you kind of work it in as normal from there. And so he likes that technique, or that's a technique that he uses for Williams. And see, this pass as well started out a little bit on the airy side, but you just work it on your face a little bit, and now it's almost perfect. Oh, got another 5 or 6 passes in the bowl there. It's crazy. Yeah, so this is the 3rd pass I've got on my face, and the bowl is still over half full. This is Williams. This is what Williams can do. So, you know, I imagine retailers are going to have it for a little while. Then eventually it'll be sold out and won't be able to be restocked. It's kind of a sad day for traditional wet shaving. The kind that's that likes to stay attached to our history. You know, if you always embracing the new bases and stuff, you may not even care. Or if you're one of the people who never really got a great lather from it, you're not going to care, right? And that's okay. That's normal. 3rd pass, and I believe I've really kind of cut down all the stubble, and so this is maybe going to just pick up a few stragglers. The Nacet works great in this razor for me. I just don't have any irritation, but I've got a nice close cut. If you don't give Williams enough water or enough soap or enough time to mix it together, you can also have it dissipate. When it dissipates on your face, you can almost hear the crackling, and you get that constriction that comes with drying, and that was your fault. You just didn't know, right? You just need to improve your Williams lathering technique, and you won't get that. And there we go, Williams. Great shave, close shave, super slick. So we had the 1 minute load, and it was excessive. I could probably have gotten away with 30 seconds. And the water it took was about 30 milliliters. And so, nice well hydrated lather. And I think maybe that's why Williams is tricky. You could see on my face, I'd put it on and it just didn't quite look as rich as it could be. But then you saw as I kept working it, it got richer. That's just the thing about Williams. I think let's try and see if Stirling Mountain Man will be a good match with Williams with that citronella scent. It's really funny. The vintage version of Williams, like I said, has more tallow, and so it has traditionally gone for more money on the on eBay, since you could get the modern version for so cheap at at some brick and mortar locations, grocery stores and such. Sometimes a pharmacy might have it if it's a small town pharmacy. Usually the big city pharmacies like Walgreens and stuff, or those types of pharmacies in the larger cities have abandoned the Williams. But maybe the smaller ones might have a chance. And so because you could get it for a little over $1, it just was always a lot cheaper than the vintage, and you might pay $9, $15 a puck for a puck of vintage Williams. And sometimes it's kind of worth it for that price because the tallow is just so much better. But I think lately the modern Williams has sprung up to be higher In which case, I think you should just switch over and buy up the vintage because then it's a better product anyway. All right. Well, there we go. The Mountain Man. Yeah, I'm not used to trying to match to citronella, so I didn't really have a clue what might go with it. I would guessing something like an orange, so a citrus because citronella, right? And so I actually do have the fine Italian citrus here, but I just kind of felt like smelling like Mountain Man instead, and I think it's working well. So bad news, good news. Williams is going away. The Combe company, we've seen online several email copies of people who have received word back from them that has said it's discontinued, and so it looks real. And it's really tough to see if anybody's going to step into that spot because I don't think it's a super profitable spot to be able to put out a puck of soap that's going to be just a couple of dollars and last you a couple of months. That's kind of a challenge. You almost have to have a big machine to focus on churning it out in quantity, which is I'm sure what they did in the Williams plant. Instead of artisan hot process where the artisans are sticking the labels on themselves and that kind of thing. It needs to be something more automated, I think, to make it more competitive, to make it more able to be at that low price point. But obviously, it wasn't really selling because otherwise they wouldn't have dropped it. If people were clamoring for it, then they would just keep selling it, I would assume. All right, well, that's today's shave. I'm feeling good, smelling good, no irritation. Ooh, nice close cut today. That tech is just a wonderful piece of equipment, worthy in respect and heritage, as is the Williams puck as well. You guys take care. This is Sugar Daddy Shaves. I hope that there's something about this shave that helps you out in your own journey. Take care now. Bye.